Hello my dear friend, welcome back to my channel. This is Junie's Plan With Me. Today we're going to set up my April pop-up bullet journal. I've always wanted to try some pinky spring vibe and it's finally time. As for the theme, well, what else can be better than a cherry blossom to fit this warm and lovely season? So here we go. Before we start, I have a big news to announce. I am going to open a real online shop now. I've been offering digital download in my Etsy shop, and thank you for everyone who supported my small business. Now I finally decided to make my own online shop where I'm going to offer real stickers along with pop-up template and art print. I'll still list the digital kit version, but now you can receive a package carefully packed by me with a lot of love. So check it out, and I'll leave the link in the description down below. As for this month's bullet journal setup, as always, I'm going to bring a pop-up for the cover page, and the one we're going to make today is probably one of the easiest pop-up mechanic, and you've probably already figured out. I actually thought about making a more 3D version, but considering 2D is already a lot of work if you don't have a cutting machine and have to cut it out all by yourself. So yeah, I hope you enjoy watching this video and maybe find it helpful or inspiring. For April BUJO Kits, it will include 2 Sakura dessert stickers, 1 Sakura stamp page, 1 washi tape page, 1 monthly title page, 1 days in week, 1 subtitle page, and a mini calendars page. The stickers were hand-drawn by me with watercolor and scanned into computer. I'll also draw some of them in today's setup, which I'll show you later. But before that, let's work on our pop-up cover page first. Here is the template I created. There's really no specific dimension requirement as long as it can fit in your journal. You can also find it on my online shop, and here is some ASMR I prepared for you. But of course, cutting it with a knife is also doable. Just be careful, I don't want you to get hurt. Oh, by the way, it would be better if you have color paper which has pink or brown on both sides. Here I just printed out on a regular white matte paper. So basically, you want the tree to be symmetrical. Here I also made the flowers symmetrical, but when I glue them on, I just follow my heart because I think it's okay to have some white part showing in the background, give it a multiple layers feeling. After deciding where each piece should go, I'm going to use Aleene's tacky glue to put them on. You can also use other types of glue like glue stick because this part doesn't require too much sticky force. To avoid the flowers and the tree simply overlay, I try to take out some branches through the gap between the petals, so it looks more natural. But of course, you can just put them all together, which means you just need 2 symmetrical main pieces for this pop-up. Same for the other piece. You can glue the flowers however you want or use the first one as reference and make it totally symmetrical, depending on how you prefer it to be. As I'm working on that, I want to quickly mention that I forgot to add the glue section on the bottom of the tree pieces, which I'll explain later as I glue them on the notebook. Just want you to know ahead of time if you're already following me to make your own version. The file I put in my shop was already fixed, so no worries. Now the tree part is done, let's work on the swing. Those 2 pieces are also symmetrical of course, and I also made them more 3D look. Find some string and simply apply on the one piece after putting on the glue. Make sure you put it on the top half section so gravity can make it stay vertical after you put it on the tree. I thought about making it more real, like a real hanging swing, but it's hard to guarantee it stay parallel to the ground, so eventually I came up with this version. The next is to set it up before moving to the notebook base. As you can see, I made one branch extra long just for this part. So I carefully glue it on one side and put the other tree piece on the same spot. Remember to leave some space between the swing and the lower point so it has space to move later. Then glue only the top edges together and make sure the tree bottom line up. As for the extra string part, you can either cut it away or tack it in and hide it. Okay, now it's time to take out your journal or a cardboard if you want to make it into a gift card to the one you love. The setup is really easy, just need to glue it in the middle section. As I mentioned earlier, I forgot to cut out the glue section, so here I'm going to use some leftover of my sticker paper. But if you already have it ready, just need to fold it and glue it on. The only thing you need to pay attention is leaving the same space gap from the two sides to the binding line, so it can perfectly fit when you close the notebook. And an easy way to do that is to glue one side on and then glue the other side like what I'm doing right now. And ta-da! A really simple cherry blossom pop-up tree is done. This mechanic can actually be used in a lot of other cases, like wedding art or rainbow. I hope you can get some inspiration and have fun making your own pop-up card. Remember to tag me on Instagram at 祝你孙小美 if you're planning to post it, and I'd love to see your beautiful work. Now let's continue our BUJO journey. To make it more fun, I also glue some single flower pieces around it. Then choose the most pinky April title from my BUJO kit for this page and apply some washi tapes on the corners as decoration. It looks a little bit empty, but I actually pretty like this clean and neat feeling. Now the cover page is done, let's move on to the next spread, monthly view. For the calendar part, I picked Tombow Dual Wash Pen 800, a really light pink to lay out the weeks. Each day is 5x5 dots. For Monday to Sunday, I use a sticker set I made which matches the cover page cherry blossom elements and the font. Then I use Arteza Iconic Fineliner pen A190 to write down the dates and also adding a border around it. In this monthly setup, I also decided to use another font to make it more interesting. Besides the April here, I'll also use it for the titles on the following spreads. On the right side, I'm making a simple Dutch door and also add something new behind it which we'll talk about in a second. But before that, let me write down my social media tracker next to the title. By the way, I also have a separate Instagram account for my online shop called 祝你孙 Studio where you can find more of my upcoming stickers design. On the back of the Dutch door page, I'm going to use it as my daily log. To be more specific, it's an hourly log. I used to use a separate notebook for tracking my hours only, but it's hard to keep both notebooks around, so sometimes I forget to use it or can't track accurately. So for this month, I decided to merge them together, and instead of writing down exactly what I did for each hour, I'll use color code to mark it and make it easier and fun. As for the color choice, I picked different shades of pink from my Crayola Super Tips pen collection and signed them with the main work task I have every day. So technically this is more like a work log, but I think I'll adjust it after using for a while, and I just realized that I forgot to give cooking a category, which is a big part of my daily life. Anyway, that's it for the daily log. On the right side, I'm going to use it as monthly goal and note. I'm actually really glad I came up with this spread layout. The goal and note section could be part of the monthly view, and it could also guide how I spend my time wisely as I use the daily log. On the right down corner, as you may already saw the pencil guide, I'm going to draw some cherry blossom desserts. I personally love using watercolor and I prefer to outline after coloring. But feel free to use any art media you like or you're used to. Again, bullet journal should be something that helps you to organize your life and tasks better. No need to feel pressure to make it perfect. So as I'm drawing, I want to talk about cherry blossom a little bit. Cherry blossom, also known as Sakura in Japanese, is the national flower of Japan. And that's also why most of the dessert I draw today are Japanese dessert. Heavily influenced by Japanese manga and cartoon, I always wanted to visit Japan, but sadly the year I planned to go after graduating from high school, which is 2011, there was a nuclear accident happening in Japan. So my travel plan got postponed, and I can't believe it's been postponed until now because all kinds of reasons in the past 10 years. Hopefully when the pandemic is over, I can have some break and travel to Japan with my families. After finishing the painting, I'm going to use Zebra Sarasa brown color for outlining. Usually I will use Sakura Pigma black fineliner pen, but here I want the contrast to be less strong, so I choose brown instead. By the way, all the supplies I use in this video will be listed in the description box down below if you need it. So monthly view plus daily log plus monthly goal plus note is done. Before moving to the next spread, I want to quickly mention that you can find digital download of all my BUJO spreads printable in my Patreon community. As monthly subscription, you can find more bonus content and a chance to vote for my future video theme. Link in the right up corner and description if you're interested, and your support will mean a lot to me and this channel. Now let's move on to the next spread, Habit Tracker and Mood Tracker. I stopped using sleep lock since last month because I noticed that as long as I follow the alarms I set up for going to bed and getting up, it's showing a predictable pattern. And I'll also go back to use a separate calendar style for my habit tracking because in this way I can easily analyze each habit and make the plan for the next month. There's some space left on the right up corner, so I decided to add more Sakura dessert here. This time I'm starting with this super classic Japanese dessert, Hanami Dango. Honestly, when I first started preparing this theme, I struggled a lot whether I should just only do cherry blossom flower or not. But as I researched more and more on the internet, I just couldn't stop looking for Sakura desserts. Although I haven't tried most of them in person, I really enjoy drawing them on paper. So yeah, that's the habit tracker. And on the bottom, I'm going to have a mood tracker with the flower petals. It is kind of funny that this is the only place I actually draw the tree, even though I call this whole month setup cherry blossom scene. For the Sakura tray, I try to do it in a freestyle, but the basic rule I'm following is to place them in organic pattern and different sizes and shades next to each other. Since I'm not going to do the outlining for this part, I just use brush to define the shape of each flower. You can use 1 or 3 or 5 petals to show different angles. Of course, it's better to find reference if you are the first time drawing flowers or trees. After the first round, I also add in some details with thinner stroke and highlight the flower stamen with some dark pink dots. Then I use Tombow 772 to draw out 30 petals falling from the tree to representing 30 days. For this part, you can make it more random, could be a whole flower or some simple petals. And remember to curve a little bit so it has this flying momentum feeling. Now the habit and mood tracker page is done, the next is my brain dump. I don't know if you have this habit of sending postcards back to home while traveling. For me, it is a second fun thing to keep this memory in a physical way, and my number one is to collect magnet to put on the fridge. So here I decided to draw out 2 postcards, and it's perfect timing to use my stamp stickers. I've been stuck at home for more than 1 year now, but it seems like things is getting better and better, so hopefully we can travel soon, and I can't wait to mail back a real postcard with real stamps from Japan. On the left down corner, I leave some space for another Sakura dessert drawing, and this time I pick a simple but looks yummy cake and 2 macarons. Oh yeah, I also place a strawberry on top because it's my favorite fruit and the color matches. Well, the macarons look pretty bad, but we can fix them by outlining and highlighting with a white marker. So yeah, this is a pretty simple layout for this spread, and the next is finally the weekly spread. It's been a while since I used box layout, so since there are 4 days in the first week in April, I'm going to combine them with the second week and fit in this box design. Each day is 12 by 8 with 1 dot gap in between, and there will be 16 boxes. I'll take 5 of them for something else, so now I'm outlining 11 of them and write down the dates. And because my days in week stickers start with Monday, I'm going to apply them on the second week and handwrite the first 4 days. There's actually a small accident. I wrote Tuesday on the day 1, which is supposed to be Thursday, so I cut a small piece from the page I cut away from the Dutch door earlier and patched it. Anyway, I just want to let you know that things happen and there's always a way to fix it. Then for the box on the right up corner, I'm going to use it as a mini calendar, and the next is to fill up the rest boxes. It feels kind of weird to do advertisement on my own product, but as a small YouTuber, I started this side business a few months ago, and I've been really grateful for every single one of you who check out my Etsy shop and supported my small business. I used to only be able to provide digital download, but thanks to you, I got to invest a Cricut machine, and I hope my new stickers can bring more joy to you. Now I finished adding in the boxes and giving them a little bit drop shadow. I'll go back to the previous pages to use out the rest cherry blossom flowers. And that's it for today's video. If you're still here, I really appreciate it, and as I'm doing the final flip through, I want to share some of my thoughts with you guys about the recent hate crime targeting on Asian happened or happening in the US. I didn't want to mention at the beginning of this video because I try to make this channel all about creativity and happiness, but I do want to stand out and talk about the Stop Asian Hate. Even though I didn't grow up here and I didn't really experience racism in person, I know it is always there and it is not okay to keep ignoring it and pretending it's normal. Maybe one person's voice is small, but I still want to speak it out and let the rest of the world know that. Please stop the hate and love everyone more. At the end of this video, I want to give a special thank you to my new Patreon members: Naomi, Alexa, Rev, Ruthan, Expired Lemonade, Rachel, Sakura, Sengu, Stephanie, Kimberly, and Tara. I really appreciate your support and love. If you like this video, please click like and maybe consider subscribing. Also, don't forget to turn on the bell so you can receive notifications every time I upload new videos. And I hope you have an amazing April. I'll see you very soon in my next one. Bye!